Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am here to talk about Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo, number 5. Oh, no, wait. It's Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja, 2.5. Like the Naked Gun movie. Brandon Moreno is 29 years old. He's got a record of 21-6-2, and he's got 2 inches of height and 2 inches of reach over 33-year-old Alexandre Pantoja, who's 25-5. 11 losses combined between these two guys as a pro. Neither one of them's ever been finished. 11 decision losses. And these guys do look impossible to finish. Of course, we've seen the Ultimate Fighter fight from Tough 25 or whatever it was, where Pantoja choked out Brandon Moreno in an exhibition fight. Got him out of there with a rear naked choke in round 2. That's the only time Moreno's been finished, and probably the only time he should have been finished. That was a fight where Pantoja was the number 1 seed, Moreno was the number 16 seed. And after that, Moreno was hanging around watching the tournament unfold, and then sat on the sidelines. And then while the tournament was airing on television a few months later, he got the call to fight in the UFC, and he strangled Louis Smolka as a big underdog, and has pretty much been around ever since. He left for one fight, but he's pretty much been there since. Brandon Moreno, the 6 losses. He's got 3 earlier in his career, and then very early in his career. And then he lost to Davison Figueiredo, Alexandre Pantoja, and Sergio Pettis. Not bad at all, losing to those 3. Moreno, he's got 16 finishes in his 21 wins, 11 by submission, and he's strangled some really good guys against that Louis Smolka win was excellent, and Dustin Ortiz choking out that guy is phenomenal. And he's also got 5 knockouts. We've seen a few of those. The fucking liver kick against Kai Kara France in the 3rd round of an interim title fight. That was excellent. He got that guy, his one fight that wasn't in the UFC, since he made it to the UFC, was against that guy Michael Perez, and he got him out of there in round 4. An excellent victory for him. Moreno, and that's his primary strength in this fight, I think. Cardio. I think he's got better cardio than Pantoja. I don't know if he's got... I don't know if that's going to be the difference maker, but with all speculation and whatever, that's what I think his distinct advantage in this fight is. But technically, Alexandre Pantoja is very much in this fight, if not Brandon Moreno's superior. I mean, he's really good on the feet and really good on the ground. Smothering control, really good back control, and dangerous submission game. Again, he got Brandon Royval out of there. Royval's one of the best overall submission grapplers in the division, probably the best submission artist. But Pantoja was just too much of a grappler for him, and got him out of there in round 2. Of course, he got Alex Perez out of there in like 10 seconds in his last fight. Just was all over that guy. But Pantoja, he's a versatile guy, can fight anywhere. We saw him fight for 15 minutes hard with Manel Kape, largely on the feet, and he got the better of Manel Kape. People say Manel Kape was flat in that fight, but Pantoja made him flat. That wasn't some UFC jitters shit. You know, Manel Kape's been on the big stage for a while, and was even before that. But Pantoja, his wins over Brandon Moreno, they're not totally irrelevant, even though we've seen Brandon Moreno reach the heights since then. It's not like they're, 10 years ago. They're 6 or 7 years ago, and then 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years ago. But Pantoja, he hasn't slowed down. Again, he's on a solid winning streak. He's only lost twice recently, and it was to Davison Figueiredo and Askar Askarov. I'm aware Brandon Moreno got by both of them. Actually had a draw with both those guys, but he beat Figueiredo twice, lost to him once, and had a draw once. But Pantoja, I still think that was a case of him being outgunned on the feet by a guy that hits a lot harder and can throw for 15 and 25 minutes, Davison Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno, even though he can throw for 25 minutes, probably for an hour straight, and he's a very good technical boxer, kickboxer really, I think Pantoja is better on the feet. I think Pantoja is better. In that last fight with Moreno, he was really busting him up, making him pay, good counter strikes. I do think Moreno's probably faster, but Pantoja has better timing and a little better power as well. And grappling wise, Pantoja was able to take Brandon Moreno down and worked him over in the first fight. Got him out of there with a rear naked choke. After Moreno gave him a good round or so, Pantoja took over and strangled him down the stretch. And then in the rematch, he still had a good amount of control over Moreno. Round 1, round 3, I believe. Moreno got him down a few times too, but Pantoja had an answer every time. Never let him get his hooks in, defended really well, and got his hips free and got the fight standing. So Pantoja, despite me not being as confident in a 5-round fight, he's my pick. He's my pick to win this fight, and certainly my bet. I think Pantoja could just prove to be a bad matchup for Brandon Moreno. I'm aware Moreno is, certainly on paper anyway, he's leveled up over the last few years, going through 5-round wars with Davis and Figueiredo, winning most of them and destroying some really good fighters as well, like Kai France and Brandon Royval was an injury or whatever, but still, he was looking good there. I think he has leveled up, but I still think Pantoja has too, and Pantoja was far enough ahead in their first 2 fights where, yeah, that's my prediction. As for where they're at now, I'm going to pick Pantoja. I'm picking Pantoja to win. I do think it would be by decision. I've sprinkled something on that at plus 500, but really the money line is where it's at, plus 160, because despite Moreno never being finished as a pro, he was finished once as in an exhibition bout, and it was the Pantoja. So decision, I'd say, is much more likely, but I can't count on it, But Pantoja winning the fight, plus 160, I pounced on that. I see a lot of value there. Again, if he loses, I expect it to be because he was falling off a little bit in rounds 4 and 5. And if that's the case, Brandon Moreno by decision is plus 205. I do think for sure that's his primary path to victory. Almost 100% of his paths to victory are by decision, in my opinion. So might be some value there, certainly, but I'm going with Pantoja. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.